Action.
Hi everybody. Today I just wanted to show I've had a lot of questions about using the bleeding tissue paper, and I just want to show you how I use it and how if you do it the right way, when you're done it shouldn't look like tissue paper, it should look like actual paint. And as you've seen, I've done this piece right here. This is a 12 by 12 hardboard canvas, and I use an Oddball Art Company image number 160. Sorry, I can't remember all this stuff. And it's Starlynn, Queen of Spooky Sugar Web Fairies. I love the fairies. And even though if it says spooky, there's nothing spooky about her. She has some web, which to me adds to the whimsy of her. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I use. We're not going to make all this. I'm just going to basically show you how to apply your tissue paper and the glass beads. I don't know if you can see them, but they really are beautiful. They sparkle all different colors. Okay, here we go. First, you're going to print your, you purchase a download from Etsy from Oddball Art Company, and you would print the one you want, download it, print it to the size. This is a full page, and I did a full page on her, and I just colored her face with my Prism pencils, and then I continued to color her wings, her clothes, and her hair with Dylusion spray inks, and that is these. And what you do is you'll put them in, like I've said in the past, you'll put them into your little water brushes and you'll add water to them. Make sure you use bottled water because you don't want it to mildew or mold. Okay, and the colors I used was the fresh lime, squeezed orange, funky fuchsia, that's a hard one, and London blue. Okay, and I also used dilution paints. And I used the bubblegum pink, the vibrant turquoise, the black, and the squeezed orange. Okay, I will demo paint how to apply it. Okay, and what I did is I used decoupage to put the tissue paper down, but I watered it down. I keep this little bottle where I had bought some gel medium and I used it all up. So I just made my own solution and you just water it down and that's what you apply because you really don't need it as thick as it comes out of the jar. You're kind of just wasting your product. Okay, so, and then on her wings and the letters, I used the Crackle Paint Distress by Tim Holtz. I used the Glass Beads by Faber-Castell. I used embossing on the butterflies, clear pattern. And then I used a brush to apply my stencil. I used these stamps, and I used this one, and I used this one. Okay, and I also used her stencil, and I used this one out of her stencil collection. Embossing pen to emboss the butterflies, a butterfly stamp. To outline and color the shading, mark all pencil in your water brush. Block for putting the stamp on, the white gel and white for the dots and the work on there, and this to apply the glass beads and just any kind of word font that you have stamped. Okay, so basically I just want to show you, I've done one where I've already done it, and I wanted to show you how it looks afterwards and see how the bleeding is in there. The more it bleeds, the more realistic it looks. Okay, so basically I just want to show you how to apply the tissue. My little pieces of tissue. Okay, and when you purchase the tissue paper, this is the one I purchased. I can't show the whole thing, but you get 100 sheets in there, Spectra Art Tissue, and I got it on Amazon. You get 25 colors. This package will last you a lifetime and then some because it goes a long ways. As you can see, it's pretty big. Okay, so you just start with your glue brush, and always just have a brush that you leave for just glue only. That, as you can see, it really damages your brushes. Okay, and what I like to do is when I'm applying it, I like to come in first and get it good and wet. And then you just would apply your tissue. Now, sometimes that's going to make little lines, and you see it's already bleeding, and you want it to bleed. And you always want to tear your edges, like on here. You see how that's bunt? I wanted to show you so you'll know. If you use a bunt edge, it does. Well, the other wind just blew in the other ones. I guess we'll apply it too. The fan's on, so it's blowing everything. Okay, but you see how it's starting to bleed, and when you put the straight line, you see how it shows it's not very pretty. So I would recommend tearing your edges so that it looks like actual paint. Okay, and then we'll come in here. Okay. And see, you think, oh, that looks muddy and ucky, but oh, when it dries, it's so pretty. Okay, and then you would just continue on, and you would let it dry. As you see, I have the bleeding of the orange, the green, the blue, and I would just, next color I lay down, I'd bring that blue into that color, just like I would bring it into the pink. And there you go. Okay, so that's just to show you how to apply it. And then here you have it on here. And I went ahead and did the glass beads because they need to dry for you to see them, but I will show you how to apply them. But before I do, I'll do that last. I want to show you how I put the paints on. Okay, we're going to put the, let's go with some blue. This time, you're just going to dip your finger in there, and you'll find a spot that you like, and you want to add some blue. Say I like right here. And this time, you don't want to rub it all the way out that it fades totally. You can like go softly out to there till it fades, but you basically want to keep it thick because when it dries, it's still going to dry translucent. It's still going to show your underneath, but you just need it a little bit thicker so that you can actually see the color. Otherwise, as you see, when I go out here further, it takes on the color that's underneath. So, okay, so we did blue. We'll do some orange. Clean your fingers. I know y'all always hear me say I love dilution paints, but I really do. They just make every project you do much better. Okay. And the really good thing is with these images, you know, you can size the images any size you want. You can put them on there. You just play with them. Don't treat them like they're a real stamp. Yes, they come printed out and everything, but you can alter them. You can add stuff to them. And you can try different things. You can even run different papers through your computer and print them on tissue. Print them on vellum. Just don't be limited. Don't limit yourself, because when you limit yourself, then you won't enjoy your stamps as much. And I say that all the time. I'm one of those, if I buy a stamp, I better be able to use it 3 to 4 times, or I get really upset with myself because I feel like I wasted my money, and nobody has money to waste. So I'm going to bring in some pink right here just to show you a little bit more of the painting. As you see, as you add the paints on top of these, they start looking like real paint. And like if you miss places, like you're going to miss places, sorry about that, because it shrinks up sometimes and you'll just have a spot. You could take your paint. This is what I love about this. Just take some paint, go over it. But just always feather out your edges, because the more feathering you do outward, the more realistic it looks. Okay. All right. And so when I did the border around her, I came in with this. And I'm going to turn it because I just put wet paint there. Well, they all got wet, so it really doesn't matter. And on this, only time you ever really have to pounce any kind of dilutions, usually I always tell everybody a little, fan it out. It works better. But in this case, you need a good amount of paint on your brush because you're going to pounce it, because you're going to be covering, because it's translucent. You need to have enough paint on here that it covers your underneath. So just come in and pounce like this very softly. Don't have to go crazy, but you just want to get enough coverage in that it actually covers. And then you would just continue down. But you want that a ghost effect. You would come in, you would take most of it off on the side, and then you would apply it onto your stencil. But in this case, we need it for more thickness for coverage, so we're having to pounce it on. Don't want to mess it up. Okay, as you can see, there you go. And I always, when I have this left over, I like to take a worksheet that I'm working on, and I like to apply it onto my sheet. Like I've already started here. Just move this for a second. I don't like to waste any of my paints or anything, so you will catch me doing this all the time, no matter what I make. And you think, oh, that looks terrible. But when you get done layering and adding your paints and your whatever you're going to add, this all disappears in the background and it just adds more layers and textures. It just makes it more cooler. Okay. It's like have your cake and eat it too. You get your clean stencil and you get your next sheet ready for you. And that's usually the hardest part, is everybody says starting a new sheet. Well, this starts it for you and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so this up so we're not smearing black paint everywhere. Okay, so now we've done that. And then basically what I did was I just came in and stamped. I'm using archival ink because I'm going to, anytime you're applying wet on there, you want to have an ink that will take you layering without coming back off. And then you just want to randomly and don't worry about being all neat and having to have it a certain way, because that's not what mixed medium is. Mixed medium is layers and textures. You just keep adding more and more. And then we go to our bubbles. And I love these stamps, background stamps. I just love any, honestly, any stamp. Any stamp that fills it in and makes it look cool. Okay. Okay, as you see, it's very fast, nothing major. Okay, and then we'll come in with my words. And when I put my words, I like to concentrate in all the little areas that don't have anything, where the dots didn't go, because then it doesn't overpower like it's too much. You can have too much, believe me. Okay. Okay, I want to come in here and fill this in down here. It don't look like we forgot it. Okay, so basically you see how that came really fast, quick, easy. And say if you wanted to stamp some butterflies on here and you didn't want to go to the extremes that I did with the heat embossing. And what I did on there is I stamped my image onto paper first. And like I said, I used the Georgia Pacific. Then I came in and colored it with my Dylusions water brush inks, like this. Just however you want your butterfly to look. Okay, and then I cut them out. And then I heat embossed them with clear. And you'll have to do several coats of that because to get it thick enough that it gets that 3D look. One coat is not going to be enough. It's going to leave it too bubbly, not filled in if you only do one coat. So you're looking at probably 2 to 3 coats. And always take your image off the page. Don't be afraid to do that. It looks really cool. Okay, let's just do a little bottom there. Okay, well, there you go. And that's basically all you have to do. And the only thing I came in and done differently was I added the crackle paint to the letters, which I used some plastic letters that I had gotten, and I put it on her wings because if you put something here, you need to follow suit. It has to make sense. Whatever you decide to do on here, you have to equal it out. Always usually in threes. And the reason there's only 2 because her wing would count as 3. Okay? So I hope y'all have enjoyed this and that it helped you and that you will check out the OddBallARt Company images by Lizzy Love. And this is the Starlynn, Queen of Spooky Sugar Webs Fairies, number 160. And have a blessed day.